In July 1994, every large telescope on Earth turned to face the same planet, and for 6 days, humanity watched something no one had ever seen. A comet hit a world while we filmed it. This is Cosmion. Point it at any question in the universe, and it will show you the answer, whether you can bear it or not. Tonight, we pointed at the ice that falls out of the dark, what comets actually are, where they hide, and what happened the week one of them did not miss. Start with the thing itself, because almost everything the movies told you about comets is wrong. A comet is not a glowing ball of fire. It is a mountain of black ice, drifting through the dark, colder than anything on Earth. And it is genuinely black. Comet nuclei are among the darkest objects ever measured, darker than coal, darker than fresh asphalt. They reflect less light than a lump of charcoal. This one is called 67P. In 2014, the European Space Agency flew a spacecraft alongside it for 2 years and landed a probe on its surface. The first landing on a comet in human history. It did not go smoothly. The lander's harpoons failed, and in gravity 100,000 times weaker than Earth's, it bounced, twice. It came to rest in a shadowed crevice, and before its batteries died, it found organic molecules, carbon chemistry, the ingredients of life, frozen into the ice. It is the size of a mountain. 4 kilometers across, shaped like a rubber duck, 2 ancient lumps of ice fused in a slow collision 4 billion years ago. Up close, its surface is cliffs and pits and dust. There are boulders the size of stadiums. There is even weather. Avalanches of powder that fall in gravity so weak, you could jump off the comet by accident. So where does the tail come from? The sun. As a comet falls inward, sunlight boils its ice straight into gas. No melting. Ice to vapor in one step. The comet begins to breathe. Jets of gas and dust erupt from its surface like geysers. That breath becomes a tail 100 million kilometers long, long enough to stretch from here to the sun. 2 tails, in fact, a curved one of dust and a straight blue one of charged gas that always points away from the sun, which means that on its way back out, a comet travels tail first, chasing its own light into the dark. The most dramatic object in the sky, produced by a dirty snowball the size of a town. Which raises the real question, where do they come from? Every comet you have ever seen fell here from a place so far away, it barely belongs to the solar system at all. Past Neptune, there is a belt of frozen leftovers, the Kuiper belt. That is where the short-period comets live, the ones that come back on a schedule. Halley returns every 76 years. In 1910, Earth actually passed through its tail, and the panic was real. People sealed their windows and bought comet pills from con men. Nothing happened. The tail is a better vacuum than any laboratory on Earth can make. But keep going, 1,000 times further. The sun shrinks to a bright star, and you reach a place we have never photographed, the Oort cloud. A shell of ice surrounding the entire solar system. Not 1,000 comets, not 1,000,000. The best estimates say trillions. Halfway to the nearest star, in permanent night, minus 260 degrees, 1 trillion mountains of ice have been parked in the silence for 4.5 billion years. Voyager 1, the fastest thing we have ever thrown out of the solar system, will take 300 years just to reach the inner edge of the cloud, and 30,000 more to come out the other side. They are the construction rubble of the solar system, the bricks that never got used. Every one of them is a perfectly preserved sample of the cloud that built the sun, kept in the deepest freezer that exists. And every so often, something knocks one loose. A passing star, a galactic tide, a nudge no stronger than a whisper, and one mountain out of 1 trillion begins a fall that takes 1,000,000 years. Most of them loop the sun and then vanish back into the dark, most of them. In March 1993, 3 comet hunters, Carolyn Shoemaker, Gene Shoemaker, and David Levy, were photographing the sky with a small telescope on Palomar Mountain. Carolyn had found more comets than any living person. But that night, on a damaged strip of film they almost threw away, she saw something near Jupiter that made no sense. A comet smeared into a line, not one point of light, 21 flying in formation, like a string of pearls. The orbit told the story. Years earlier, the comet had drifted too close to Jupiter, and the planet had simply kept it, captured it, like a moon. Then, on its final pass, it came within 40,000 kilometers of the cloud tops, inside a line astronomers call the Roche limit, the distance where a planet's gravity pulls harder on the near side of a body than the far side. Jupiter's gravity took hold of one end of the comet harder than the other, and tore the mountain into 21 pieces without ever touching it. The same quiet force that grinds moons into rings had simply pulled a comet apart like bread. 21 fragments up to 2 kilometers wide, falling in single file. And the mathematics said they would not miss again. For 14 months, the world's telescopes watched the pearls fall. Astronomy had never scheduled a catastrophe before, a cosmic disaster with a date, a time, and a front row seat. The Hubble telescope had been repaired in orbit just 7 months earlier. It was ready exactly in time. There was nothing anyone could do but point every camera we owned at Jupiter and wait. On the 16th of July 1994, fragment A went in at 60 kilometers per second. The impacts happened on Jupiter's far side, just out of view, but the Galileo spacecraft, flying toward Jupiter at the time, watched them directly, and within minutes, the planet's rotation carried each fresh wound into view of every telescope on Earth. The first fireball rose 3,000 kilometers above the cloud tops, hotter for a moment than the surface of the sun. And that was one of the small ones. For 6 days they came down, one after another, like a slow bombardment. Fragment G hit with the force of 6 million megatons, hundreds of times the world's entire nuclear arsenal, delivered in a single second. It left a dark bruise on Jupiter larger than planet Earth. The scars stayed visible for months. Amateur astronomers with garden telescopes could see them. Wounds on the face of the largest planet we have, each one bigger than the world you are standing on. Every scientist who watched it had the same quiet thought. That was the demonstration. Jupiter can absorb a hit like that. It has been absorbing them for 4 billion years. Its gravity makes it the solar system's shield, hoovering up the debris before it reaches us. Earth cannot absorb a hit like that. 66 million years ago, a falling mountain, 10 kilometers wide, ended the dinosaurs. The crater is still there, buried under the Yucatan Peninsula, 180 kilometers across. Whether the thing that dug it was an asteroid or a comet is still argued. What is not argued is what it did. And comets are the worst version of the threat. They fall from further, which means they arrive faster. And a comet from the Oort cloud can appear with only months of warning on its first and only visit. Which brings us to the strangest part of the story. Sometimes the visitors are not even ours. In 2017, a telescope in Hawaii caught something leaving. It was moving too fast for the sun to hold it. It had come from another star. It was named Oumuamua, the Hawaiian word for scout, a messenger from far away arriving first, the first confirmed visitor from another solar system, and it passed us before we ever saw it coming. And as it left, it did something comets do not do. It accelerated gently, with no visible tail to push it. The argument about why has never fully ended. Since then, 2 more have come through. Another star's comet, caught mid-flight in 2019. A third visitor in 2025. The count is now 3, and rising as our telescopes improve. Think about what that means. Other suns have Oort clouds too, and they shed. The space between the stars is quietly crossed by mountains of ice that no longer belong to anyone. Some of them have been falling between stars for longer than the sun has existed. So here is the honest picture of where you live. You live near a warm star, inside a shell of 1 trillion sleeping icebergs, behind a giant planet that takes the hits, in a galaxy where the ice sometimes changes owners. The comets in your sky are not omens. They are the leftovers of creation, the oldest, coldest, most honest samples of the beginning of everything. Each one on a million-year fall it did not choose. When the Rosetta mission ended, the team did not switch the spacecraft off. They landed it gently on the comet it had chased for a decade, so that somewhere out there, a machine we built is riding a mountain of ice around the sun forever. Once in a while, one of them writes a warning on the face of Jupiter in bruises bigger than Earth, and then the sky goes quiet again. We were lucky enough to be alive, with cameras, the 1 week it happened in plain view. The lens does not blink. If you want to be here the next time it turns towards something extraordinary, subscribe. Because next time, we are lining up every black hole humanity has ever found, from the smallest to a monster with a mass of 100 billion suns, and ranking them side by side.